ISKCON Samstapakacharya Savior of the whole world, Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Bol. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottama Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayed Nashtaprayesha Bhadresho Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtike. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 6, The Killing of Demon Putana, Text 34. Dahyamanasya Dehasya Dahyamanasya Dehasya Dhumascha Aguru Saurabha Dhumascha Guru Saurabha Utthita Krishna Nirbhukta Utthita Krishna Nirbhukta Sapadi Ahata Papmanaha Sapadyahata Papmanaha Dahyamanasya Dehasya Dhumascha Guru Saurabha Utthita Krishna Nirbhukta Sapadyahata Papmanaha Dahyamanasya Dehasya Dhumascha Guru Saurabha Utthita Krishna Nirbhukta Sapadyahata Papmanaha Dahyamanasya Dehasya Dhumascha Guru Saurabha Utthita Krishna Nirbhukta Sapadyahata Papmanaha Dahyamanasya Dehasya Dhumascha Guru Saurabha Utthita Krishna Nirbhukta Sapadyahata Papmanaha Dahyamanasya. While being burnt to ashes, Dehasya, of the body of Putana, Dhumaha, the smoke, Cha, and Aguru Saurabha, turned into saintly scented smoke of the Aguru herb, Utthitaha, emanating from her body, Krishna Nirbhukta, because of Krishna's having sucked her breast. Sapadi, immediately. Ahata Papmanaha, her material body became spiritualized or relieved of all material conditions. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. because of Krishna's having sucked the breast of the Rakshasi Putana, when Krishna killed her, she was immediately freed of all material contamination. Her sinful reactions automatically vanished, and therefore, when her gigantic body was being burnt, the smoke emanating from her body was fragrant like aguru incense. Please repeat this translation after me. Because of Krishna having sucked the breast of the Rakshasi Putana, when Krishna killed her, she was immediately freed of all material contamination. Her sinful reactions automatically vanished, and therefore, when her gigantic body was being burnt, the smoke emanating from her body was fragrant like aguru incense. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Such are the effects of Krishna consciousness. If one somehow or other becomes Krishna conscious by applying his senses in the service of the Lord, one is immediately freed from material contamination. Shrinvatam swakatha Krishnaha punya shravana kirtanaha. This is from the Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 2nd chapter, 17th verse. Hearing about the activities of Krishna is the beginning of purified life. Punya Shravana Kirtanaha. Simply by hearing and chanting, one becomes purified. Therefore, in discharging devotional service, Shravana Kirtana, hearing and chanting, is most important. Then, with purified senses, one begins to render service to the Lord. Rishikena, Rishikesha Sevanam. One begins to render service to the Lord. Rishikena, Rishikesha Sevanam. Bhakti Ruchyate. This is called Bhakti. When Putana was somehow or other directly or indirectly induced to render some service to the Lord by feeding him with her breast, she was immediately purified. So much so that when her nasty material body was burnt to ashes, it gave off the fragrance of aguru, the most agreeably scented herb. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim Yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Yat kripatamaham vande Paramananda Madhavam Yat kripatamaham vande Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha Patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. we're coming to the end of this chapter. Putana's attempt to kill Krishna and Putana being killed by Krishna, then the gopis being very much affectionately attached to Krishna, they became completely terrified by seeing Putana's dead body. Such a big Rakshasi came to attack Krishna, and the gopis, even though they know Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but still, out of their intense attachment to Krishna, intense affection for Krishna, Yogamaya makes them forget Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Just because Krishna likes to receive affectionate devotional service, especially from the Brajavasis, whose characteristic is that they render intimate loving service to the Supreme Lord. This is the difference between the devotional service rendered by the inhabitants of Vaikuntha and the devotional service rendered by the inhabitants of Goloka Vrindavana. This is also the difference between the process of devotional service being taught in the other Vaishnava Sampradayas and the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. So, even though there are many similarities between all the Vaishnava Sampradayas, still the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, Chaitanya Sampradaya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings is how to render intimate loving service to Krishna. Intimate loving service. That's why you see Krishna's incarnation is in so many ways very special as compared to all other incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's not that in the other incarnations there is no affection for the Lord. Just like the Lord appears as the son of Dasharatha and his queens. As Rama, he is the son of Dasharatha and Kausalya. As Lakshmana, the Lord is the son of Dasharatha and Sumitra. And as Bharata, he is the son of Dasharatha and Kaikeyi. So all of them have affection for the Lord. Dasharatha and his queens, they have affection for the Lord. But it is tinged with reverential devotion. Try to understand this point. Reverential devotion. Reverential devotion means they are always conscious Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, or Narsimha, or Varaha. Of course, Varaha and Narsimha, you can't expect that there will be any intimacy because the form itself is very, very fearsome or gigantic form. Even Vamana Avatara, Aditi and Kashyapa, they were very pleased to have the Lord as their son. And naturally they will have affection for the Lord who's appeared as a small child. But they cannot forget the position of the Lord as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because of that, what happens? Their devotion to the Lord is always reverential devotion. Reverential devotion. Now, the inhabitants of Vrindavan, including the cows, the calves, the birds, the monkeys, none of them have reverential devotion to Krishna. They have that intimate, it's called spontaneous devotion. So there is Aishwarya Yukta Bhakti and there is, what is it called? Spontaneous devotion? Raga Bhakti. Raga Bhakti. Raga Bhakti means so intense is the attachment that the knowledge or the feeling of Krishna's, the Supreme Lord's greatness comes in the way of their devotion, comes in the way of their devotional service. Just like all the mothers have experienced, and we have gone through it. When we were small children, we do not know mother is respectable, mother is, providing me with everything. Small child doesn't know. But so much of love is there between the mother and the child and the mother. So sometimes the child will kick the mother and mother will say, "Oh, so nice." Mother doesn't take it like, how can the child kick me? Neither the child is kicking the mother out of any disrespect. No. It's again out of intimacy only. So that intimacy of love dominates the relationship. So similarly, just like the mother forgets the child is to respect me, supposed to respect me. And the child doesn't even know. It is completely in forgetfulness of the mother's position. Till it grows up, no chance at all of understanding respectability of mother. But in the case of Krishna and his devotees, Supreme Lord and his devotees necessarily are in knowledge of the absolute truth as the personality of Godhead, Bhagavan. Especially pure devotees. All devotees have knowledge of, to be called a devotee, the primary characteristic is knowledge of the absolute truth as the personality of Godhead, Bhagavan. Unless there is knowledge of Bhagavan, there is no bhakti. But this knowledge of Bhagavan, Aishwaryasya samagrasya viryasya yashasya shriyaha jnana vairagya yoshchaiva shannam bhaga iti ingana. When Krishna appeared as the son of Devaki and Vasudeva in the prison of Kamsa as their eighth child, because Devaki and Vasudeva desired to have Krishna as their son, so Krishna appeared. But if he is born as a small child, they will not recognize. The Supreme Lord has appeared as our child. So Krishna appeared in his four-handed form, Narayana form, full of all opulences, dominating their minds with his opulence. He appeared like that. And they were very pleased, at the same time very respectful to Krishna. They offered nice prayers, Vasudeva and Devaki. When a child is born, the parents will celebrate. They'll be so much joyful. Correct? Your joyfulness and celebration all in the prison house. Not possible. That is one thing. Second thing, the Lord has appeared in his Narayana form. Immediately, they bowed down. They offered very respectfully offered nice prayers. And Krishna also reciprocated properly. But because still Krishna, Devaki and Vasudeva wanted Krishna as their son, that maternal and paternal affection will be there. So because of that maternal and paternal affection, they were worried, Kamsa is going to kill this child. So Krishna, understanding their anxiety, that they want to protect him, he transformed himself into a small baby form. And then immediately, what to do? Now Kamsa is going to go and come and kill. So Krishna told Vasudeva, you hide me in Nanda Gokula. Nobody will know, because middle of the night. Nobody is awake. Everybody is fast asleep by the action of Yoga Maya. The alert prison keepers, the guards, they are not like Kali Yuga guards. Night duty, our guards come, some of them nicely sleep. Their supervisor sometimes says, if he has done morning shift, he'll tell, Allogi, night shift mado. Nidde barta ide sir, agala. Say, hogal malkolo. Nidde barta idre malko hogo. Hogo ali. Duty hogo. Alle malko. Manego malkala badlo, allo malko. Because here what happens? They come here for night duty, we all will be sleeping. What he has to do? He has to also come and guard, but he can also sleep. But Kamsa's guards were not like that. That too, the 8th child is going to take birth. They are specially alerted. But by Krishna's arrangement, his Supreme Lord, his Leela of appearance, by his Yogamaya potency, all the guards were put to, everyone comes also, everyone is put to sleep. So, Vasudeva and Devaki, this is their chance. Everybody is asleep, middle of the night. Midnight Krishna appeared. So immediately, hide the child in Nanda Gokula. And Vasudeva took the child and so that Kamsa will not come to know that the 8th child is actually a boy. So exchange Krishna, who was born of Vasudeva and Devaki, for Yogamaya, who was born of Yashoda and Nanda. So the exchange also is going to trick. Kamsa is going to get cheated. The 8th child is a baby girl. So Vasudeva and Devaki became very much comforted. But they cannot forget Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They cannot forget that. Because their devotion is reverential devotion. That's why even after performing his Vrindavan Leela, Krishna went to Mathura because Kamsa was harassing Vasudeva and Devaki. Kamsa's attempts to kill Krishna were all a big failure. So Kamsa decided enough of Kamsa's atrocities. So he and Balaram went to Mathura, and Kamsa was killed. But after that, when Krishna and Balaram went to Vasudeva and Devaki, both are paying obeisances. They are hesitant to accept that obeisances. Why? Who is Krishna and Balaram? They have appeared as their son, but actually they are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Aishwarya Yukta Bhakti is like that. Aishwarya Yukta Bhakti is like that. Whereas Yashoda and Nanda, every time some demon comes to attack, they are anxious to protect the child, like any parent would be. And they forget, this child cannot be killed. This child is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the Supreme Controller. Who can kill him? Besides that, he has no death. He is a spiritual form. All that they know. But they become very, very anxious to protect him. And then even when they hear from others, because they cannot make out, Krishna killed Putana, Krishna killed Trinavarta, Krishna killed Bakasura, Krishna killed... They can never figure that out. But even when the cowherd boyfriends of Krishna sometimes will describe to their mothers, oh, Krishna killed one big demon, Bakasura, Agasura. There was so much danger in the forest. Krishna killed. Oh, Krishna killed. They are not thinking, how can this small child kill such a big demon? They are not thinking like that. Neither they are conscious that actually he is not a small child, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What's the difficulty for him to kill? He destroys the whole creation. So what is the difficulty for him to kill some insignificant demon, one demon among so many billions and trillions of living beings all over the creation? So they don't think like that. Why? Because of their raga bhakti. Raga bhakti is that intimate, loving service, devotional service to Krishna, where Krishna is treated exactly like their beloved child. Or the cowherd boys, exactly like their beloved friend, cowherd boy friend. Or the gopis, like their intimate, beloved lover. Or the cows and calves, or the birds, or the monkeys. They enjoy Krishna stealing butter and giving them some nice butter. They enjoy that. Not that the monkeys don't know Krishna is Supreme Personality, but they know. Otherwise they can't even approach Krishna. But they want to serve Krishna, give him pleasure by participating in his Leela. There's a statement in the Vedas, Eko Devo Nitya Leelanurakto. Prabhupada quotes that in the Bhagavad Gita. Supreme Lord is one, but he is engaged in varieties of loving pastimes. Nitya, always, eternally. His only business is to engage in pastimes, loving pastimes with his devotees. Never alone. Krishna is, or the Supreme Lord is never, as Bhagavan, he is never alone. As Paramatma, anyone can perceive Paramatma, he is seated in my heart. Alone he is there in my heart. A Brahman energy. Energy is so very material energy, spiritual energy, so very powerful, spread everywhere, it's overwhelming. So that also alone, absolute truth is one, alone. But Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, he is the absolute truth, he is full of all power, he is the source of everything, Janmadhisyataha, but he is never alone. Even Vishnu, he comes down with his abode. Vishnu is originally this Supreme Lord in the Vaikuntha Loka. He comes down with that Vaikuntha Loka. So, the maintainer Vishnu has got a special planet called Shweta Dvipa. Actually, there is a Vaikuntha planet only, manifest in the material world. And that Vaikuntha planet is not just Vishnu alone. It's filled with so many devotees. So all those devotees also come with Vishnu when Vishnu comes to this world. So, Vishnu, a personality of Godhead, Vishnu, Narayana, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna, Ayodhya Dham descends from the spiritual world. It is not a part of the material world. It looks like a part of the material world. Ayodhya Dham, Vrindavan Dham, looks like part of the material. No, not material world. Krishna or Rama, Narayana, Sankarshana, Narasimha, Varaha, they descend with their dham. So, Krishna or the Supreme Personality of God, Bhagavan, is never alone. Always with his devotees, always engaged in his pastimes. Nitya Leela Anurakta. He has nothing else to do. And what about his devotees? His constant associates, constant companions. They also have nothing to do. Only simply assist him in his pastimes. And that assistance also he doesn't require, because his God is Yogamaya Shakti. Yogamaya Shakti makes all arrangements for his pastimes. Provides everything. Krishna and his devotees, everybody is provided. Whatever they want. Even the pastimes, the arrangements are done by Yogamaya. So if arrangements are done by Yogamaya, everything is provided by Yogamaya, then what do? They simply try to give each other pleasure. Ananda. Anandamayo Abhyasa. This one Vedanta Sutra. Very, 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 very important Vedanta Sutra. What does it mean? Anandamayo Abhyasat. The Supreme Lord, Supreme Absolute Truth, Anandamaya. Maya means filled with, overflowing with Ananda. And Abhyasat means he is engaged in activities simply for the sake of Ananda. Because he has nothing to do. Natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate. He has nothing to do. Everything is done by his energies. Then if he has nothing to do, he is still active. Is he inactive? As Bhagavan, he is never inactive. He is always active. Paramatma looks like he is simply sitting there. Yogis try to meditate on him. Brahman has energy. There is no personality, so where is question of activity? Personal feature is unknown. Paramatma looks like a person, but he is not active. So Paramatma they can't understand as a person. Energy, obviously, you can't make out as a person. Not a person. There's no personal feature in the energy. But Bhagavan, person. Person means name, form, quality, activities, relationship. So all these are meant simply for Krishna's pleasure, and Krishna's pleasure, Krishna never enjoys alone. Krishna always gives pleasure to his devotees, and devotees give pleasure to Krishna. This is bhakti. So, even though Vaikuntha also is dominated by bhakti, the devotees want to please Krishna or Narayana by serving him. Narayana wants to please his devotees by serving his devotees. Same thing between Krishna and his devotees and Narayana and his devotees in Vaikuntha and Goloka Vrindavana. But the difference is, in Vaikuntha, they are always conscious of the Supreme Lord's greatness, the supremacy of the Supreme Lord. They are always conscious. And because of that, their devotion is called Aishwarya Yukta Bhakti, reverential devotion. And that reverential devotion is relished by the Supreme Lord. That's seva, reverential devotional seva. But it is not as relishable as Raga Bhakti. Raga Bhakti, Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, the cowherd boys, the cowherd girls, the cowherd women, the monkeys, the birds, the cows, the calves. You see, there is a picture, Radharani is offering flowers to Krishna's lotus feet. And one calf is licking Krishna's feet. The calf is not conscious, Radharani is worshipping Krishna. How can I go and lick Krishna's feet? Krishna enjoys both. Krishna enjoys everything in Vrindavan. Because the devotional service of the inhabitants of Vrindavan is spontaneous. It's loving. It's sort of intimacy. They forget Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this reverential devotion is the basis of these gopis trying to protect Krishna. But dull-headed materialists will not understand Krishna is Supreme Lord. So they'll think, what is this? This child sucked out the life air of one big demoness who none of the devotees could even recognize. She's a big, powerful demoness. Nobody could recognize. She had come with deadly poison, already killed so many children in Braja. And Krishna killed her. How? Simply sucked out her life air along with the poison when she tried to feed her poisoned breast milk. Sucked out the life air. So this cannot be understood by dull-headed materialists. So therefore, the Leela of Krishna is also killing of Putana. Whether Krishna sucked the life air or did not suck the life air, Putana died. That is very evident. She had disguised herself as one beautiful form of the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Devi. But when her life air is finished, her original form, Rakshasi form, became manifest. And that was actually a death for Putana, because Krishna sucked out her life air. So dead body is lying 12 miles. Big demoness, powerful demoness. She is finished. And that Krishna sucked out her life air, here this verse, particularly it's telling, she was immediately freed of all material contamination. So Prabhupada says one very important point in the purport. Many points are there. One point I will say and we'll close. If some or other one becomes Krishna conscious by doing what? applying one's senses in the service of the Lord. Rishikena Rishikesha Seva. Rishika means our senses. Rishikesha is Krishna. So you serve Krishna using your senses. And what is the easiest way to serve Krishna? By using our senses. Tongue is there. Vibrate the tongue and say, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And as you are saying, you can also hear. You can engage your ears also. You can engage your tongue by chanting. You can engage your ears also in hearing the very chanting, the same chanting, the very words which you chant, the holy name of Krishna. Immediately you become completely freed from all material contamination. Now this is difficult to believe. And devotees will say, I've been chanting so much time, so many times I'm chanting. I have not become purified. So what is the reason? Even though it's a fact, as soon as anybody vibrates their tongue and says Hare Krishna, even if they don't hear, merely vibrating the tongue to say Hare Krishna, immediately they are freed from all material contamination. Like it happened to Ajamila. So sinful he was. But he called out his son Narayana at the time of his death. Yamadutas came to actually take him to Yamaloka for punishment, because so sinful he was. But because he said Narayana, immediately freed of all sinful reactions, 100%. Yamadutas could not take him. He is not a candidate for going for punishment. He is fully pure. So why something happening to Ajamila doesn't happen to us? Something happened to Putana, why it doesn't happen to us? What's the answer? Because in our heart, in addition to reactions of our past activities, sinful reactions of past activities, we have so many material desires for enjoyment in this world. So our contamination in the heart is of two kinds. This you should clearly understand and remember. One is the reactions of the past karma. That past karma, just once you chant Hare Krishna, everything is finished. Everything is finished. But the material desires we have developed over long association with this material nature, millions of lifetimes, so many desires for enjoyment. So that's also there. Unfulfilled material desires are there. So those desires are also contamination. Now how do we get purified of those desires? Because as long as the desires are there, we will be in the material world. How do we get purified of those desires? How can we get purified? That doesn't happen simply by vibrating the tongue and saying Hare Krishna. It won't happen. Those desires have to be purified by replacing them with spiritual desires. That's the only way, and there's no other way. Desires cannot be killed. Desires cannot be destroyed. Reactions can be destroyed. Desires cannot be destroyed. So, we have to rendered, practiced devotional service, sadhana bhakti, by which automatically our sinful reactions will all go away. And apart from that, we have to purify our desires. And that is not easy. Because, first of all, we have to understand our desires, even after we become devotees, even though it seems like when we are devotees, we develop devotional desires, spiritual desires. But because of our material misconception, I am this body, I belong to this material world, all those material possessions I have are mine. All these misconceptions, material misconceptions, are also there in the heart. So, desires with material misconceptions both have to be purified. So, therefore, in the Bhagavad Gita, all this is explained in the Bhagavad Gita. Anahankara, nirhankara. Nirahankara is that false conceptions, material misconceptions should be completely changed to factual realization of the absolute truth of the reality, who we are, what is our position, etc., etc. Who is God? What is our relationship? What is this world? Everything has to be changed. Nirahankara. Then, nirmama. Nirmama. Nothing is mine. Everything belongs to Krishna. I also belong to Krishna. I also belong to Krishna. This is taught by Bali Maharaj. Bali Maharaj, Vamandev took away all Bali Maharaj's possessions in 2 steps. Then he said, 3rd step, there is no place for me to take a 3rd step of land. Everything is finished in 2 steps. Then Bali Maharaj said, yes, everything is, you're taken away. But I am there. So you please place your 3rd foot on my head. So Nirahankara is becoming free from the material misconceptions. But Nirmama, nothing is mine, including I myself am not having independent existence. Everything that I have belongs to Krishna, and I also belong to Krishna. So this in the 4th chapter, Krishna says, Sarva Bhutani Asheshani Drakshasi Atmani Ato Mayi. If somebody is enlightened in transcendental knowledge, then they understand that all living entities are part and parcel of Krishna. They belong to Krishna. They belong to Krishna. Everyone belongs to Krishna. Everything belongs to Krishna. So Nirmama. I belong to Krishna. Then bhakti automatically blossoms in the heart. It is there. Bhakti is there in the heart. But it is covered by all these misconceptions and this wrong understanding of who is the master, who is the possessor, who is the proprietor. You see, all this has to go away. So we chant Hare Krishna once, you become free from all sinful reactions. But you have to repeatedly chant to purify your desires, to purify your heart of misconceptions. That nirmama, nirahankara, that takes time. So you practice sadhana bhakti and improve the quality of your devotional service. Come to the standard of pure devotional service. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. With your senses, you render devotional service, then you become purified. But with purified senses, completely purified senses, when you render devotional service to Krishna, that is pure devotional service. That is really bhakti. So that is the perfection of our life, that is the perfection of bhakti, practice of bhakti, that is the perfection of everything. I'll stop here. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.